Season 1 Reloaded just dropped, and I've been seeing a whole lot of crazy classes, so I have for you today the new top 5 best SMGs with the best classes that you should be using. With the first weapon being the XM4, I know it's an AR, but I have the SMG version of it, and I think you guys will absolutely love it if you're not already rocking it. So the thing that really makes the XM4 into an SMG is when we add the short barrel. This is going to basically make it into a mini chode, increasing that jumping ADS speed and that jumping sprint to fire speed. Basically, if you do jump around a corner and you go to fire, you will have a delay, so this is going to cut down that delay. And then if we tie that in with the ergonomic delay, when we go to slide, there's not going to be a delay, or if we go to dive, there's not going to be a delay on top of there. And then to make the gun a little bit better up close, we got the light stock, increasing that movement speed, which is just your walking speed, but it also increases the hip fire movement speed, overall making the weapon feel a lot lighter. And then another thing that makes it feel very light is by adding the Ranger foregrip. This can increase that sprinting movement speed, which also increases that tactical sprint speed, and it adds a little bit of recoil control. And then just to be off the radar so the enemies don't really know where we're at, we got the suppressor. The iron sights are a little bit weird, so we have the coupler, and then the extended mag, so we don't really have to worry about reloading. And then lastly, to make it kill very fast up close, we got the rapid fire, which yes does kill the range, but when you guys use it, you're gonna see that you can use it on the big maps and you can use it on the small maps. This is a very underrated XM4. Now if you guys do want to use the 5 attachment version, I do recommend taking off the optic, take off the fire mod, take off the stock, and just rock these 5 attachments right here. Although I do recommend you guys using the 8 attachment version if you are going to turn the XM4 into an SMG. Now for the first gun on this list, it's going to be the PP919. I bet you I got the best PP on the market. Got a whole lot of range, pretty good hit scan range, and basically no recoil, and you're going to be off the radar. This is a little bit of a different class than I usually would rock. We have the no stock on there. I really like the infiltrator, but the no stock just feels so good if you hip fire a lot. I find myself with the PP, I'm always hip firing, so this is going to make it so it's a little bit more consistent. We have the rapid fire since the TTK isn't the best, so to help it compete with the other SMGs, we do have the rapid fire, which is going to increase that rate of fire by about 12%, making it so it kills 12% faster. And then we have the CQB grip, which if you don't like the ADS speed, you could add the ergonomic. These are literally the same thing, it's just this one helps with your sprint to fire. So if you like to run around and go right into a hip fire, you're gonna be able to fire the gun very fast. With the ergonomic, this one just makes the gun snappier, so it really is up to you. Typically I use the ergonomic, but on this build I'm using the CQB. For the barrel, since the bolt velocity is already like, okay, I guess the bolt velocity is really not that good, but the damage range isn't that good on the gun, so I like to add the long barrel, increasing that up to about 20 meters. So now it's better than a lot of the other SMGs while having still a pretty fast TTK. Although if you're using it and you're feeling like you're getting a lot of ghost bullets, feels like you have to lead your shot, just like something feels off, add the reinforce. This is going to increase that bolt velocity, making it so you get that better hit registration. Although if you're playing on Nuketown and things, you should be perfectly fine with the long barrel. And then since you have so much ammo in this gun, all the enemies are going to know where you're at, so we got the suppressor to keep us off the radar. Here's a screenshot of my favorite 5 attachment PP919. Now if you guys do want to run the 8 attachments, I do recommend adding the fast mag. We are lowering the ammo size by about 14, but then we also increase the ADS, the sprint to fire, and your reload quickness, so overall making the gun feel a lot more mobile. Very enjoyable with that fast mag. Sometimes it can be annoying though. And then lastly, we are going to be using the fast motion laser. The enemies can't really see the laser in this game, like they're really not that bright. And then since we have the CQB grip, it's going to be very good for hip firing, and then we have the laser on there for that. So if you do need to hip fire, you're going to have pretty good accuracy. If you want to ADS and, you know, shoot across the map, you're going to have that very good damage range. I like the iron sights, but if I were to add an optic, I would use the coupler. Here's my favorite 8 attachment PP919. Now for the next gun on this list, we are going to be trying to find our way back into the menus. We got the JACKAL PDW, one of the fastest, one of the best SMGs because it has the fastest sprint out TTK. Also the best one in Warzone. You just don't have as much ammo as you would with the PP. That's why you see the PP a little bit more often in Warzone. Now for the muzzle, we do have the suppressor again to keep us off the radar. If you want to maximize recoil control, I would use the compensator, but there really isn't that much recoil on the weapon to where you're going to get more benefit out of not being on the radar. For the barrel, we are using the long barrel. Typically if the SMGs have about like a 500 to a 550 meters per second bolt velocity, then I'm perfectly fine with just increasing that damage range, since the reinforce usually only increases the damage range by like 20-30%, while the long barrel does a whole lot more. Now for the underbarrel, we are going to be using the Ranger foregrip, same reasons as before, making the weapon feel lighter, removing that side to side bounce, making it a lot easier to use at long range. For the magazine, we are using the extended mag 2, although this might be a little bit OD on a lot of the bigger maps because the fire rate's not even that fast, so then you might want to use the extended mag. It's just like on Nuketown, the extended mag 2 is so enjoyable, especially for Warzone. Then lastly, we are going to be using the ergonomic grip. This one is the overall best grip in the game just because it allows you to play very aggressive, and it just removes all those delays, so then you have nothing really holding you back, since this game has a whole lot of delays, making it feel a little bit sluggish at times. Now I would add the overpressured rounds if you do want to use the 8 attachment build. The rapid fire is not bad. I'll probably do a rapid fire build in the future, but do a little bit better with the overpressure just because it improves the hit registration on the game. And then for the stock, we are going to be using the balance stock. This is the one that the pros use. I like the infiltrator actually a little bit more, but the balance stock is also nice because it increases like every single type of strafe speed, while the infiltrator only increases your ADS strafe speed. So if you're playing up close hip firing, the balance feels pretty good. And then lastly, I like the iron sights, so I'm going to be adding a laser called the Strelok laser. This one basically makes it so you have 100% hip fire accuracy before you even fully ADS. As you guys can see, I'm not fully ADS, but we have 100% accuracy, so then you actually can like pre-fire your shots. You can like start firing before you're shooting and you'll hit a lot of them and the enemies won't really know what just hit them. So this is my favorite 8 attachment JACKAL PDW. I do change it up a lot, but that one like most of you guys should like that one. This next gun is going to be the SAUG. The SAUG is one of the best SMGs. Actually just got banned from ranked play, and so definitely take advantage of it while you can because they might actually nerf it. I hope they don't nerf it though. For the muzzle, we are going to be using the compensator just to remove that recoil. It adds a lot of gun kick control, and this gun, you guys can see there is a lot of shake, so this is going to eliminate that shake as well as giving us a lot of vertical recoil. And then we're going to be using that ranger foregrip over here to actually get a lot of that horizontal, so now we can move around the map faster, and we have no side-to-side bounce as well as just overall no shake on the gun. Not that much damage range, so we're going to be using the long barrel. The bolt velocity is 525, so I think that's good enough, and we're going to get more value out of increasing that damage range. You actually don't fly through ammo that fast with this gun, so we're not going to be adding a magazine, although on the 8 attachment build obviously we will have a magazine. You could take off the light stock for the mag, but the reason I like the light stock is that it just makes it those up and close gunfights so much easier, and it's just like you feel like you're just like a god up close with the light stock. And then the strafe speed's already pretty good on the gun, so we don't really need to have the infiltrator or the balance, so then it's better to take advantage of the hip fire movement speed. And then for the rear grip, we are going to be using the ergonomic, same reasons as before. Here's my favorite 5 attachment SAUG class. Now if you guys do want to run it with the 8 attachments, add the extended mag 1, maybe the extended mag 2, depends on like the map and the mode and how the enemies are. Overall though, extended mag 1 should be fine. Again, we're going to be adding the overpressured unless you're a demon and you want to try out the rapid fire. It's just the bolt velocity is going to be a tad slower. Doesn't affect you too much because like up close you'll be really deleting the enemies since it increases the fire by 12%. So this one's definitely very fun. You might actually have to add like the vertical though to, you know, compensate for that recoil control that we're losing, but you guys might be fine with the ranger. Honestly, I do pretty good if I add an optic to the gun. Like for some reason it just like actually makes it a lot easier, and I think it's because the iron sights are so shaky. So here's my favorite 8 attachment SAUG. You guys could take off that. Here's a more consistent version of that SAUG, and again you guys could go and add the Strelok instead of the optic. Now for the next gun on the list, this is going to be the 4th one, the C9. I don't think I've given out the C9 class. More of a hip fire rapid fire build, so like up close you're going to be dominating, and then there's still not that much recoil, and you have a pretty good amount of damage range to where you can do very good at long range. So for the barrel, we are going to be adding the long barrel again to maximize that damage range. The bolt velocity is a little bit on the slower side of things, but you could just add the overpressured in place of that rapid fire if that is causing you some problems. For the muzzle, we are using the suppressor, keeping us off the radar. There's not that much recoil on the weapon, so you should be fine with the suppressor. Although if you are a little bit newer or you just want less recoil on your gun, then I definitely would use the compensator over the suppressor. We are, for the underbarrel, using the vertical foregrip since this gun, it comes with so much horizontal recoil. That's like the biggest downside of the C9 is that there's a lot of side-to-side bounce. This is going to eliminate that a lot. I tried out the ranger, and like the ranger's not bad. It's just like I do miss some of my shots, especially if the enemies are very sweaty and they're on like a head glitch. I do better with the vertical. You could even add the compensator and then do the ranger, but I would get more value out of not being on the radar. For the magazine, we do have the extended mag 1, although extended mag 2 is also great. Again, rear grip, the ergonomic grip. We got the infiltrator stock on here, allowing us to strafe very fast. Makes it feel like an OG MP5. I really like this gun when we have the infiltrator stock. And then we got the Strelok laser. Same reasons as before, increase the hip fire to ADS accuracy. And that laser, like the enemies really can't see blue lasers. Like the red and the green stand out a lot more. Even then, they don't really stand out, but this blue one, like you can't even see it right now. Like I actually genuinely, okay, now I can kind of see it. And so there's really no downsides of that laser. Then we got the rapid fire, increasing that fire by 6%, which is pretty helpful. And then again, you could add the overpressured if you want, you know, a better hit registration on the game. This is going to be my favorite 8 attachment C9. If I were to run it with just 5 attachments, I would probably take off the laser and then take off the extended mag and then rock this exact one. If I want to run a magazine, then I'll probably go over here and add the, you know, take off the stock for that. That's going to wrap it up for the C9. Now for the last gun on this list, this is going to be the TANTO. Absolutely love this gun and absolutely hate this gun. If you're feeling good on the game, you're hitting your shots, you're having a good day, the TANTO's great. But if you're missing shots, the TANTO has a very slow time to kill. And so high risk, high reward. So this first build I'm giving you is the 8 attachment build. You guys can rock in whichever way you want. I'm going to be adding the Strelok laser. You know, it just is so underrated when people people don't realize how good it is. Usually I would use the rapid fire on this gun, but the recoil springs like allows you to use the gun easily at long range, to where like I actually prefer the recoil springs over the rapid fire, although most people do rock the rapid fire, so feel free to swap out that for that rapid fire. For the barrel, we are using the long barrel, increasing that damage range to 8.3 meters. Without that, it's like 5 meters, so it's kind of a must to add the long barrel. And the bow velocity is already pretty good on the gun, and like that bow velocity is like that good. And oh no, we don't have rapid fire. With rapid fire, still is in the 500s, so it's actually still very good with rapid fire. I just, you know, prefer the recoil springs. For the stock, we have the balanced stock, just giving us a bonus, like, you know, on actually, you know what, sorry to make this confusing, we are going to add the combat stock. The combat stock on this one's nice because at long range, if someone's shooting at you and they're hitting their shots, it's a little bit harder for you to hit your shots. With this combat stock, your screen is going to shake less, but then you still have a lot of strafe speed. So for my longer range weapons, I actually really like the bomb stock, which is usually the combat. For the up and close gunfights, we got the ergonomic grip, allowing us to ADS a little bit faster and just remove that delay. For the magazine, we do have the extended mag 1, although you could take this off for an optic or something else because the fire rate's slower, so you're not really going to be blowing through ammo. Ranger foregrip to make the weapon feel lighter, and then suppressor to be off the radar. This is going to be my favorite TANTO .22 build. Now, if you guys do want to run it with just the 5 attachments, take off the stock, the laser, and the fire mod, and then just rock it exactly like this. Could take off that, add the rapid fire. That's another pretty good one. Or you could even take off the underbarrel, add the extended mag, and then rapid fire on there, and then you can add the compensator, just because the rapid fire adds a little bit more recoil. So that is, you know, a lot of good builds for you guys. For like the perks and everything, this is typically what I use. I don't really use gunfighter too often. It just depends on, like, you know, which gun I'm using. You could swap over to perk greed and then add maybe like scavenger, so you don't have to really worry about running out of ammo. So this is like a very good nuke class overall. If you guys want the secondary as a bonus build, there you guys go. With all that said, if you did find it helpful, leave a like, subscribe with the noties on, and deuces.